Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about a couple note-taking methods and some general tips on organizing your notes. The first method we're going to talk about is Cornell Notes. Its signature style starts with drawing a horizontal line across the bottom and a vertical line down the left side, which you can see are reserved for a summary and questions section respectively. Where I have Cornell Notes written is where your chapter title will go, along with the date, and you always want to include those two things so that you can keep your notes chronologically organized and find information more quickly when you go back through your notes later. The large open space where I'm writing is where the majority of your content will go. If you notice, I'm organizing my notes with subtopics marked by Roman numerals. Under each subtopic exists pertinent points and details that are organized in a lettered fashion. You want to make sure when taking notes, Cornell or otherwise, that they are condensed so that you can jot down as much information as quickly as possible. This is important for taking notes during class when you don't have unlimited time to write, as well as important for being able to read through your notes more easily as compared to reading through paragraphs of information. Be sure to leave out needless filler words that don't aid your understanding, such as the, to, that. You'll also want to use abbreviations and acronyms when possible. Symbols such as arrows and equal signs are also great for denoting relationships between variables. For example, you could draw something like this to show that when pressure increases, volume decreases. Although not shown here, make sure to leave space if there are diagrams or drawings you want to add. These definitely make a difference in understanding, especially for biology and life science classes where visualization of concepts is important. Moving on, the questions section is important for testing and reinforcing your understanding. If there's something you don't quite get during the lecture, make sure to write it down and come back to it later. Understanding what you don't understand is a critical first step in learning anything. You can also include any quick definitions or a list of abbreviations here if needed. Lastly, the summary is something you want to fill out after class and serves as a check for understanding. Being able to reform the information in your own words is a great indicator of how much you recall and whether or not it made sense. One final note, color coding your notes by chapter or topic is a great way to make sure your notes are more appealing and will aid in finding subtopics more quickly. Cornell Notes can be used for a wide range of topics, but I want to dedicate some time to notes specifically for math and math-based classes and some good note-taking tips for these types. I figured that an example would be easier to comprehend for this, so I chose a random algebraic concept to demonstrate. Just like Cornell Notes, you want to have a date and chapter header, but what makes this method unique is that it heavily relies on a specific color code. So each chapter and its subtopics are denoted with one color, for which I've chosen green. Also, I denote the subtopic details with dashes, but you could also use letters or bullet points. Then I use a distinct color to highlight new and important formulas. For this, I've chosen orange, and I typically like to box in the formula and highlight around the perimeter. Using one color for all the formulas allows you to find them quickly in your notes, and then if you need more information regarding the formula, you can skim through the area in which you found them. Personally, I found this very useful whenever I would go back through my notes while doing homework or studying. Another important point is that you want to include any in-class examples in the same section that the concept is explained. Oftentimes, professors and teachers will structure examples into their lessons, but if they don't, make sure to leave space for one to fill in later. Knowing how to apply math to its concepts is often necessary to doing well in the class. Finally, you'll want to use one more highlighter color to denote anything you don't understand well. This is synonymous to the questions section from Cornell Notes, and typically an alarming color such as red, or as you'll see me use in a few moments, hot pink, will quickly draw your attention to these potholes in your understanding. As I said before, the best learners understand what they don't understand, so making sure to take note of it as it happens is important. When I was in school, I could always approach the professor after class or during office hours and have a quick and easy way to find my questions. Of course, if you don't like those options, you can always send an email, ask a classmate, refer to a textbook, anything that helps fill in those gaps. I also want to reiterate that pictures, when applicable, make great additions or substitutes to written notes. especially for something like physics, where a picture might do you more justice than words. This concludes our quick guide on note-taking, and I hope you found something useful to take away with you the next time you're in class.